Hello everyone, welcome back to From Picture to Build. We are here back again after our abrupt stop. I didn't really get much time to showcase another part of the build that I continued, where I managed to find a solution to the problem we had before, where we were trying to replicate this great texture, which I simply just used pale hanging moss, where like that we gave a very hatched look to the abandoned window, and also adding some texture with some stained glass and gray concrete powder. Now I think we can continue upwards and maybe finish this sort of facade. Now give me quite a second so we can start by also addressing the fact I added these sort of like window sills to the side using carpet. What else? We now can start by adding all of the rest of the texture. There isn't much I really want to do because I think I can leave these how they are. Maybe we can use this too. But I think also what we can have done was using bars. Let's see. Not sure how they're gonna come out, but maybe if we just do them like that, that's not that too bad, to be honest. If we just do that like that, honestly, that is not that bad, to be honest. Um, let's see, one sec. I mean, from an angle, if we compare it to this, it's not too far off to what we're actually going for. Now, let's add also our like skirtings or whatever we're gonna call them, windowsills, whatever. Now, what I want to test also is if the chat is working. So let's see. Okay, so chat is quite glitchy. We'll see that later and probably the next stream. But what we can do for now is continue. We can work on this window, which doesn't really show much. I think it's more like ventilation rather than a window. But what I think I want to do is maybe use some of these grates. I think if we use grates over here, these ones to be specifically, waxed exposed copper grates. If we use these, like that, we get that looking good, but we can also mix it with some of the pale oak wood. And if we just surround these like this, can add that like shadow we're looking for inside. And that too looks quite nice. You can add that little this over here. We can also add them inside so we get more indentation. I don't know, maybe what we can do also is frame it better. Like maybe we can use, not sure. If we put two lights, if we were to have the poplar wood from the new snapshot, this would go really well, to be honest. So if it weren't for the fact that I can't use Axiom, I would have used that. Now, what I can do is start by saying, let's see. The windowsill is quite big, it does go quite out, but of course it's Minecraft, we don't really have much to access from, but I think we can just remove this just so we don't have an exaggerate amount. And we can put these back, so at least we still get that like highlight part. So from here it looks quite nice, yeah. We can add this like drain pipe we can see, or like electrical pole. If we do that, we can do it with some of these, and could also use some bars. Both these and these. Well, let me get some waxed bars specifically. And what we can do is just add these here. Let's use the stack. Up to here, and we can replace these with some of these, make it look quite run down, and also add some of these. I think we were to just turn off this for a second, just to like curve that, or ooh, that's not what we want. To redo that. Let me quickly options, controls, keybinds, and swap my axiom placing with that button so that we don't have many mishaps. And we have to remove this again. Let me just tinker this away. Just fix that real quick. And now, place that back. These over here. Now that we have that, I think it does look quite nice, yeah. I'm enjoying it. It looks very good so far. I think maybe what we can also use are maybe some pale oak right here, just to add that like little white parts that we're seeing. Place at bottom part too. And we can add the lamp, which extends actually outward. So if we do one of these and then use, I think if we use that, maybe a button could look good. We do that, or maybe if we replace it with a one of these that goes into a trapdoor. That looks like that. That ain't too bad, to be honest. Maybe if we do this and then extend this outward. We could also just use pale moss. Let me find that. I think we can replace these also with pale moss. I think I might suit it better, seeing it's more lighter. Let's see how that looks exactly. Like that, we also get those nice hanging, those like bits of things on the wall. And like that, we get a more convincing lamppost. Yeah, that looks quite nice. I think I wanna like lower it quite a bit. I can just get the move thing and just do that. Move that one down. So we have space for the roof. And now what we can do is finally work on the roof. Let's see. Okay, we're working on now. What we can do is, yeah, the roof. So for the roof, I want to use, I think I can use either dark oak or spruce or jungle. So now let's test out the place. Um, we do this and flip all of these open. Can get those like bars over here, which then we can use possibly tough. I think tough might look good to be honest, but we do have this darker version. We have what's it called? Polished deep slate. Dry feel. Let's see how that looks from below. If the jungle's too bright, I think if we go for something like dark oak, might be better. Maybe sparse it out more. I think that's, yeah, that's way better. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I think if we just remove the one in the middle. So if we do, so that's one. So one, one, one. So like that, we have like that. And we can do, want to do some very dark blocks over here to show the shadow. And we can use tough finally. I love using it, and I haven't really used it a lot, only for the detailing. So I think if we just do a row here of those and possibly even pale moss while we're at it. So like that, yeah, we can see possibly then we reach down with these. And we pull these down. Now we can bring also some of our stained glass that we love using. If we turn on the decorate, we can use this to blend it in. It's just all about playing with colors. It's like painting at this point. Minecraft has just become painting in real life. So if we take it like that, that's not too bad. If we get maybe a better transition rather than using these, we can also use some of these concrete. I've been dying to use. Let's turn on that again and use this. I want to see if there's another block maybe I can use to not just use this, like, because it's very quite stale of a block. Maybe if we use some coral, it might look better. We mix in some coral with it. And then in some parts have like that. You're not completely covering it. But like that, we are starting to get some texture into it, and we can use something over here. We need something over here to make it look. I mean, in the picture, we do see like parts which are like lighter than each other. So if we bring up some of this again, maybe cover it in some of this. Like that, you get that. Looking quite nice. Now I want to see maybe we can get a nice highlight if we use something like diorite in a part over here, but to cover that completely. Like it might be too bright in this case. I mean, maybe if we use clay, it might be less bright, seeing it's more to the gray tones. So we replace that on the back. It's not too bad. You get like that dark contrasting with like a bluish color. Maybe if we can put some over here too. Get some of this. I like, because this is my first time really playing with the glass technique that everyone's been using lately. So I think like that, that's not too bad for what I can say is the sort of facade. If we compare it now, yes, I get that this is like very yellowish, but of course this is in bright sun. So if we were to use shaders eventually, this will give off the same tone. Like it's right where the sun would be. So exactly, we're going on the right track with this. Um, uh, Now what we can go and do is mainly think, let's see. Now that is looking quite nice. I want to add this chimney over here. I can assume it's like right over here, possibly. Like it's in between, it's like above here. So if we were to mark it out, we can mark it out like this. And it's just like a solid thing with some like shingle roof, which we can maybe get something. I don't know if we had cushions, that would be good, but we don't. So maybe we use one of these trapdoors, or maybe this with this trapdoor. And if we use a block like coral, we can get something that looks quite nice. If we do something like this in the background, and maybe we add some of this, shade it out a bit, some grain coral to give more texture. The only thing is from the bottom it's not really showing, so I think if we just do that, it'll look better. And I think I want to replace that with dark oak. So like that, we get that look. Now I'm assuming this is a chimney, mainly from the fact that I can't really see what it is during our ride. But from what I can tell, it is a chimney. And to be honest, this is looking quite nice. Now, for some people, this does look like block vomit, but from an art perspective, this looks quite nice. Like maybe if you came over here, it looks quite weird because of all of the glass. But from afar, this does sell the picture that we're trying to paint. Now, of course, the sides are indecisive. It's mainly for us to interpret. But if we were to keep this as a facade, This looks very nice. And I'm seeing right now chat is working on the viewer's point of view, so that's great. Um, uh, exactly, nice. I don't know exactly what else we can work on for today. Let's see how much we've been going for. Well, for 12 minutes. I think we can just sort of conclude it here. Maybe we want to add some details under where part, let's see, is missing some sort of detail. I think maybe if we go over here and just add like two bits of these, that might look good. We can remove this because it's quite bothering me. For a facade, we have not done bad because this looks quite nice. I mean, maybe we can add the road if we wanted to. Let's see. If we were to just like paint a road over here of these. Now it is a tarmac road, so I don't really know exactly. I need to blend it in. There's like this like patch I can use, can make without path blocks. It's nice experimenting, to be honest. I mean, it's first time making a live stream, so talking while building is quite a new thing for me. But at the same time, I think I can get used to doing stuff like this. If we get maybe some concrete powder, I think that would look nice. Should place those underneath. Okay, that updates it. So we need to add some. So we add some of this, okay, and then that. The bush there, and a fern over here. We can add a bit of andesite. And possibly we can also add that like little streak that's going around. So we want to do just a line over here. Actually, we can use signs. Signs are a better option. If we use signs over here in the middle. So I'm gonna go with just calcite blocks. But I think if we just go with the sign technique and we can get some carpet, moss carpet, let's see how that goes. I think moss carpet is nice. That looks nice. And we can just extend this with maybe some more of this concrete. Just add some texture here. So I can add some pale moss. I don't know what to say, but looks really, really nice. It is actually one of my favorite builds, to be honest, because I picked this build specifically because it was one of the blander builds that I have. I mean, if I look for another reference photo, we have, I believe this one is also a nice one, or is it the same one? No, that's the same one. This is the reference, the same one we have over there. But if I open this, we have this image, for example, one of the more nicer, pleasant looking buildings that I found during my trip. And I was planning to use some of the new sulfur blocks for it and leave that for a more official stream. But seeing how this build really came together, I think we have a lot ahead. And I really enjoyed streaming. So I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'll see you in the next one. Just like I said, see you all, and I hope you had fun.